The opponent sends back out Stunfisk, and Stunfisk is going to be met with the Icy Wind. Icy Wind goes unshielded. We then farm up, banking Icy Wind, look to snipe with Floatzel. My god, the opponent sends out unshielded Zangoose, and look at the damage. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're back at it with another super spicy showcase. This season was probably the biggest PvP move update we've ever seen. I'm sure by now you've seen most of the buff Pokemon, stuff like Cradily and Quagsire did become pretty good. However, there's one Pokemon no one showcased we've all forgotten about, enter Floatzel. Floatzel did get access to Liquidation, which is a Crunch clone. Obviously a water type, not dark type attack. Huge shout out to one of my Discord members, the Plush Gamer, aka Ledsen Cat, who we're going to call Ledsen for the duration of the video for the showcase. If you want to join the Discord, it's linked down below. Without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game 1 we lead Floatzel into Frostlass, great lead. The opponent safe switches into Cradily, we stay in, fire off the Liquidation, which is only neutral, my god. Shadow Cradily near gets one shot, Ledsen can now shield the rock side, commit to the waterfall farm down. Floatzel is a grass type counter confirmed. To be fair, Cradily is part rock, but still that was impressive damage. The opponent now sends out Altair and we pivot into Kofagrigus. You can see we're on a double ghost backline. This season saw Drifblim also get a buff, getting access to Mystical Fire. However, in this meta, full of very annoying fucking Dragon Breath users, Icy Wind and Shadow Ball is the way to go. Ledsen Cat landed the Dark Pulse bait. He's now going to reach the Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball draws the final Protect Shield. The opponent now all shields down. They do commit to the full Dragon Breath farm down. Ledsen has his Drifblim, which is looking primed to sweep this battle. We attempt to catch. Unfortunately, the opponent throws in the middle of the Hex animation. Great discipline from the opponent. They're already at the next Sky attack. Ledsen will need to shield this up. We just got to be mindful of the attempted Icy Wind catch onto Frostlass. There's the attempted catch. No such luck, trainer. Shadow Ball locked and loaded. High Frostlass by Frostlass. Drifblim is going to outpace to the Icy Wind, and that is going to be all she wrote. GG's and thanks for playing. Ledsen in game number 1, showing why Drifblim operates better without the Mystical Fire. Heading into the next battle, huge core breaker Galvantula, gonna delete both Floatzel and Drifblim. We safe switch into Kofagrigus. Ledsen shows huge cojones, calling the lunge bait, and the opponent now punishes us with Licky far too thicky, and things are looking dreadful. As the opponent has debuffed us, if they're smart, this Licky too thicky is going to commit to the full Lick farm down. We're firing off non-stab neutral Dark Pulse. You can see 2 didn't even chip this Licky into the yellow. This third Dark Pulse definitely not going to be enough, and we are rapidly running out of HP. The opponent does Lick all the way down. Look at that annoying tongue. Lick, 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 and we are looking pretty fucked. We send back out Floatzel. We're definitely going to have to respect a potential Power Whip. Floatzel, a very attack-weighted Pokemon. It's got 143 attack. It's pretty similar to Surfetch. That tells you what we're dealing with. We double shield up both Power Whips. However, the opponent's now got a 2 to no shield advantage. Out comes Galvantula. We fire off the Liquidation. We needed the absolute biggest debuff of our life. We see no debuff. The opponent does fire off Energy. Drifblim needs to be good against whatever's in the back. Discharge takes us out. We need 4 hexes to knock out this spider. The opponent sends out Frostlass, and this is just RPS hell. We're going to land the Icy Wind bait, even if the opponent shields. No debuff, we'll be saving this balloon from getting popped. Avalanche going to vanquish us. Back to our Pokeball. GG's. In that battle, there's absolutely nothing Ledsen could have done. We could blame the algorithm if you're one of them believers. Moving on to the next battle. Floatzel into Stunfisk. My god, look at this waterfall damage. We are going to have to respect the potential discharge. A great shield from Ledsen. The opponent now sends out Cradily, and here comes Kofagrigus. Cradily, without a doubt, one of the bulkiest mon in the format. Upper shield could actually make a play for switch. The opponent fires off the first Moonblast. You can see the second one with the residual Psycho Cuts will be enough to knock out. We fire off the Dark Pulse bait. The opponent craps their pants. They're definitely looking to make a play for switch. This Moonblast will be lethal, but the opponent masturbates like an absolute potato, and now the opponent's going to be forced to invest both Protect Shields. The opponent does commit that final shield. They get the full Psycho Cut farm down. We send out the balloon. The opponent fires immediately. No trainer. The opponent fires off the Grass Knot. Holy smokes. Drifblim can now very comfortably tank the next Moonblast and get a very hefty Hex farm down, and this Drifblim is going to leave absolutely loaded. So in that situation, you definitely wouldn't have won CMP, so if you're the opponent, at least look top right. and attempt to throw the right charge move. Back out comes Stunfisk. We fire off the Icy Wind. We then bank an Icy Wind, look to snipe with the Liquidation. The opponent sends out Zangoose. Zangoose is unshielded. Look at the damage. Liquidation does huge damage. We waterfall, farm down, back out comes Stunfisk, and Floatzel says, I'll waterfall you down as well. GG's. In the next battle, we see Zionix's favourite Pokemon. However, Marowak not going to fare very well against our Spice Pick Floatzel. The opponent say switches into Altaria. We answer with the Balloon. This Icy Wind double super effective. It doesn't quite one-shot. This is why I like the Shadow Balloon, as that would have been enough to knock out. We now invest the Protect Shield. Can we Hex Farm down? No, we can't. It looks like we're forced to throw one more Icy Wind. Is the opponent going to look to shield this up to get off the move? No, they're not. Back out comes Marowak, and interestingly enough, they are running the Hex variant Drifblim, going straight for the kill shot. Shadow Ball, oh, goes shielded. Nice play from the opponent, recognising that we probably wasn't going to bait. Ledsen now aggressively sends back out Floatzel, preventing himself getting farmed all the way down. My god, 2 waterfalls have chunked this Shadow Machamp massively. Ledsen looking pretty good in this scenario now. The opponent doesn't build up to a payback at worst. This is a Rock Slide. We shield it up. Ledsen should now commit to the full Shadow Claw farm down. We fire off the Dark Pulse. The opponent lures us into a CMP. However, this is just a cross shot. Ledsen going to fully undercharge this. We will get a couple more Shadow Claws. However, how much energy does that Marowak have? Back out comes Marowak. We make the Dark Pulse. Dark Pulse will be forced in the final shield. However, this Hex Marowak is absolutely loaded. We attempt to sack the Balloon. The opponent shows great discipline, not firing off a charge move, and we're going to eat a BM Fire Blast for the road. GG's to that opponent. So in that battle, if Ledsen would have committed to the full Shadow Claw farm down on the Machamp, we could have had a chance. Moving on to the next battle, we see Defense Deoxys in the lead. 2 better responses in the back, so we say switch into the mighty 4-armed Coffin. The opponent fires off the Psycho Boost, then dip out into Lantern. We're actually ABA weak to this really annoying bulky fish. We full send the Shadow Ball, rocking Lantern to 50% HP. The opponent goes straight Surf. Surf wouldn't be lethal, but Ledsen looking to get rid of Lantern. We now overfarm again, firing on CMP. This time we're going for the Dark Pulse. The opponent does commit a Protect Shield. Surf won't be lethal from this range. However, we are going to get sparked down afterwards. Ledsen lets it go. We make the Dark Pulse. Shielding now on the opponent. Do they want switch or do they want to save a shield? The opponent chooses to invest their final Protect Shield. Neither of our remaining Pokemon fancy taking a Thunderbolt. We come into Floatzel. Oh god, Floatzel gets absolutely nuked. That Thunderbolt probably would have took out Floatzel and all its relatives, and it would have been a very sad day. We are going to invest our final Protect Shield here. The opponent just out of Surf. Can we Hex Farm all the way down? Yes, we can. Drifblim with a whole heap of energy, looking to put the team on its back. Back out comes Deoxys. Shadow Ball locked and loaded. Deoxys gets rocked, getting returned to their Pokeball. The opponent's final Pokemon is Frostlass, and just like that, Drifblim says, don't worry team, I've got you. GG's and thanks for playing. Drifblim buddy, you need to take a chill pill. This is meant to be a Floatzel showcase and you are stealing the show right now. In the next battle, we see Floatzel into Golbat. Look at the waterfall damage again. However, likewise, I don't think I've ever seen neutral wing attacks do so much damage when the only neutral. We tank the Poison Fang, pivot out into Coffin. I believe this is another Poison Fang. The opponent does fire off the Poison Fang. They continue to stay in. We farm up, fire off the Dark Pulse. Is the opponent going to shield, looking to force a shield with the Shadow Ball? No, they're not. They sack the bat and then come into Altaria with the debuff defense, Dragon Breath tearing us apart. Ledsen recognising he's probably only going to wait one move. Full sends the Shadow Ball, forcing a shield. Altaria now gets the full Dragon Breath farm down. However, this Shadow Claw damage that we have got on Altaria puts us into Icy Wind range. We saw in a previous battle it does around 75%. Ledsen invests the Protect Shield, and holy smokes, the opponent full sends a Dazzling Gleam and then switch out into Dwegong, attempting to catch an Icy Wind. No such luck. We full send the Shadow Ball. That rocks the Dwegong down to 50% HP. We continue to stay in. Ledsen going to be forced to shield up the Icy Wind. Ledsen is going to need to pivot out at some stage. We bank the Shadow Ball, pivot out into Floatzel. The opponent still has one Protect Shield remaining. We get the final shield with the Liquidation. The opponent does manage to Ice Shard farm down. We fire off the Icy Wind. Icy Wind double resisted, but will be enough to knock out. It's going to be a race. Can we outpace the Altaria to the Icy Wind? No, the opponent gets there one turn before, and we lose a heartbreakingly close game. GG's. Heading into the next battle. We leave Floatzel into Lantern. Big yikes. Fucking hell. We're going to say switch into Coffin. The opponent answers with Golbat. Golbat not going to appreciate the Shadow Ball. I don't even think switch really helps us. We have switched out into our one hard counter. We do manage to gain a shield with the Dark Pulse bait. We are going to shield in return, and the opponent baits us with a Poison Fang. Things have gone from bad to worse. Ledsen now full sends the Shadow Ball. Golbat lets it through. We don't manage to one-shot. Shadow Ball will be taking us out from this range. We're forced to invest our final Protect Shield. We have got Switch, however, I'm not really sure how that helps us. Ledsen does manage to make a really nice Weather Ball catch on his balloon, but we know Lantern will be returning. The opponent continuing to stay in. They're going to chip us with one more Weather Ball. Giving us this energy lead might help us out. Weather Ball does rock us. Back out comes Lantern. We're going to make the Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball draws the final protection off the opponent. They now commit to the full Spark Farm down. My God, how do you win this game? I personally have no idea. We send in Coffin. Coffin going to be met with this energy from Lantern. Surf doesn't take us out, but likewise this fish is so thick. We fire off the Shadow Ball. It does do a lot of damage. However, they're already at the next Surf. Surf going to be lethal, and poor old Floatzel is going to get one shot by a Lantern for the second time in the video. Lantern, this Floatzel has a family. However, Lantern clearly doesn't care, and they vanquish us back to our Pokeball. So apparently this ABA weak to Lantern is very risky. Moving on to the next one. We don't see Lantern in the lead, which is pretty good, I suppose. The opponent running Beware, a pretty spicy pick. I did see Nerds Rising have success with this. We shield up the Super Power. The opponent continues to stay in and then make a great catch. Catching the Liquidation onto a counter user. Metachan takes a lot of damage from the Liquidation, and we now pivot out into Kofa. Kofa can easily tank a Psychic. We should now commit to the full Shadow Claw farm down. We don't see a defense drop. The opponent gets farmed all the way down. A really nice play from Ledsen. Back out comes Beware, and we're looking to get rid of it before they reach the payback. Dark Pulse will be lethal. The opponent invests that final Protect Shield. This is only 5 Shadow Claw Trainer. This is a double resisted Super Power. No, why would you throw a double resisted move at a Ghost type? I have no idea. We fire off the next Dark Pulse, taking care of Beware. The opponent's got Talonflame in the back. Look at the waterfall damage. Floatzel finally has its moment to shine. Ledsen going to invest his final Protect Shield here, and I'm not sure on this play. We go for the Liquidation, looking to force the final shield. However, we are now going to get Incinerate farmed down. We need 2 hexes to knock out, or we're going to eat a Brave Bird. The opponent doesn't get new mechanic, and we win a very close game. I think the safer play would have been to save our shield for Drifblim and just go for the double Icy Wind. Getting into the next battle. Another big yikes lead, Altaria. But when you're running Floatzel, I think most things are pretty yikes. The opponent looks to get a shield. Awesome chip damage with the Sky Attack. We shield it up, and the opponent answers with Tentacruel. Tentacruel not the best against Coffin, as due to our Ghost typing, we do resist the Poison Jabs. The opponent then goes for an Acid Spray. I'm not entirely sure what to say, other than we tank that very easily and return fire with one more Shadow Ball, rocking Tentacruel deep into the red. We don't play to CMP. Is this another spray? It is another spray. Clearly Ledsen was counting and I was chatting far too much nonsense. We get the full Shadow Claw farm down, back out, comes out here, and it's going to be met with a Shadow Ball to the face. My God, Coffin absolutely putting in work. Ledsen can now realign. Drifblim going to reach the Icy Wind. The opponent just going to sack Altaria. What are they saving that shield for? No, it's another Lantern. However, they go straight Surf, giving us a chance. We can tank this. We can then return fire with the Shadow Ball, either doing big damage or forcing the final shield. Let's see how the opponent wants to play. They let it go. We pivot into Floatzel. That's 5, that's 6, that's 7. They're at the bolt. He looks to call the bait. Ledsen, you absolute hero. We call the bait, and I think we've got this game won. The opponent then throws an alignment. Floatzel can easily shield this Surf up. Floatzel is going to get the waterfall farm down, and I cannot believe it, but Floatzel is a Lantern counter confirmed. Ledsen, your nuts are fucking massive. My god, what a call. Moving on to the next battle, another ulterior lead. Let's see if we manage to win this one. We pivot out into Kofa and the opponent answers with Dwegong. We go straight Shadow Ball. The opponent shields the first, and a lot of annoying Icy Wind users love to shield the first move as it does do the most damage. As we're getting into the latter half of the showcase, we've made a substitution. We're no longer ABA weak to Lantern. We've switched out the Mighty Hot Air Balloon for Cradily on his new moveset of Rock Slide. Getting back into the commentary, Ledsen looking to make a play for switch. We shield up the Icy Wind, throw one Shadow Claw and the Dark Pulse for optimal fast move timing. The opponent shields it up. We'd really like our Cradily line with Altera. The opponent gives up switch, sniping with a Dragon Breath, and here comes Cradily. We do take neutral from flying as Rock does resist and Grass takes super effective. Ledsen invests his final protection. We overfarm heavily, fire off the Rock Slide. However, Rock Slide isn't going to be enough to knock out this bulky flyer. Altera lets go of the first. We're already at the second. Does the opponent invest their final protect shield? No, they don't. We're spamming out into Floatzel, looking to catch an Icy Wind. The opponent either didn't have the move or held their energy, and then they go for a very strange Icy Wind anyway. That is resisted, giving us even more farm. Yikes, the opponent's final Pokemon is Walrein, and I think this is going to be game over. The opponent just needs to farm up two back-to-back moves. You can see Floatzel is so glassy. One Icicle Sphere will take care of Floatzel, and one Icicle Sphere is going to be more than enough to take care of Cradily, and that is going to be all she wrote. GG's to that opponent. Cradily actually did survive the Icicle Sphere, but one more Powder Snow was enough to take us out. Moving on to the next battle, a Bomber Snow. Pretty tricky again. We're ABA weak to our Bomber Snow. Maybe the algorithm is real. We say switch into Kofa. We tank the Weather Ball, but my god, Shadow Bomber Snow hits hard. The opponent possibly running a triple Shadow team. They send out Shadow Golbat. However, they go straight for a Poison Fang, which definitely isn't the play. An easy tank for us. We return fire with the Dark Pulse. Dark Pulse does go shielded. Can we reach the Shadow Ball? No. Golbat gets the farm down. Ledsen waiting out his timer. I imagine we return with Floatzel. We actually come into Cradily. I actually quite like this play as we can overfarm, looking to threaten that return in a Bomber Snow. The opponent fires off the neutral Poison Fang. Ledsen then throws one Bullet Seed and the Rock Slide. Rock Slide will be lethal from this range. The opponent lets it go back out. Comes a Bomber Snow and we're already at the next Rock Slide. Does the opponent want to invest that final protection here? Yes, they do. We now pivot out into Floatzel. The opponent sends out Lantern. This is giving us a very nice chance at victory as the opponent is all shields down. We just need to get off some chip damage off this Lantern. If the opponent looks to Spark Farm us all the way down, we'll make one more Liquidation. The opponent fires off the Surf, getting themselves a bit more energy. However, Cradily should have this game won. Actually, our Cradily's pretty low. We need to tank one Surf and we need to get to back-to-back moves. I think Cradily is too low. However, I think we need to attempt this Surf as a Bomber Snow has a move bank. We do farm up to the back-to-back moves. However, Cradily definitely doesn't win CMP. Unfortunately, Cradily just doesn't have enough health to pull out the dub. A Bomber Snow comes in, wins the charge move priority event, and we're going to lose a close game. GG's to that opponent. Heading into the final battle of the video, let's see if Floatzel has one more epic victory in it. And to be honest, things aren't looking great. Galvantula definitely not something we want to see, and our Kofa Say Switch definitely doesn't want to see this silly Ram dub wall. It's the battle of the double resisted fast moves. Due to their normal typing, they double resist Ghost and they're using double kick, so we double resist that. The opponent farms up to a potential payback. Ledsen does shield it up, a good shield. We return fire with the Dark Pulse, but unfortunately Dark Pulse won't be lethal. However, the opponent does invest that shield. Tough decision. Is this going to be another payback? Yes, it is. We lose switch. However, this does set up quite a nice waterfall farm down. Back out comes Floatzel. We've already seen that we don't tank moves particularly well, so this body slam's probably going to do quite a lot of damage. Can we waterfall farm down before the next move? Yes, we can. We can then throw one waterfall and the liquidation. Galvantula users love to shield, so we should get the final shield here, which we do. And here comes Cradily. Cradily does take super effective from the lunge. However, Cradily pretty thick. The opponent then pauses a turn. A nice play from the opponent. They attempted to catch a Rock Slide onto Quag. Despite the opponent's best efforts, Ledsen shows great discipline, holding his energy. We then do get forced into CMP. However, they are one Volt Switch away from the charge move. And that is a 4-turn move. We're using 3-turn bullet seeds. We're going to outpace by a singular turn, hit the rock side, and Cradily is going to carry us to a very nice dub. Huge shout out to Ledsen Cat, aka the Plush Gamer, for the incredibly spicy battle submission. Absolutely no one else has dared to run Floatzel, so I take my hat off to you. So if you, like Ledsen, would like to be featured on the channel, a link to a battle submission form is down below. If you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing. I've tried really hard recently to get some more regular content out, despite me working like 65, 70 hours a week, because I'm living in England and we're in a cost of living crisis, and to be honest, stuff is fucking expensive. However, that being said, thank you all ever so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.